In the cold mountains of Chile, a small observatory stood quiet under the stars. It was not famous. It had only 5 people working there. But on the night of April 17, 2027, something happened that would change the world forever. Dr. Alina Rowe, a quiet woman with sharp eyes and a calm voice, was working alone in the control room. The rest of the team had gone to sleep. The sky was clear. Her computer showed the usual patterns of stars and galaxies. Then the signal came. At first, it was soft, just a small blip. But then it grew louder, a steady rhythm, not random, not noise. It was repeating. Beep, beep, beep. Alina's fingers froze on the keyboard. She turned up the volume. Beep, beep, beep. She opened a software program to analyze the pattern. It was binary, a language of 1 south and 0 south. Computers use it, so do machines. And sometimes. Intelligent life. The signal repeated 16 times. Then it stopped. Alina stared at the screen. Her heart beat faster. She ran the numbers again. It wasn't just random data. The signal was structured, like a message. But who would send such a message from deep space? She copied the code into a translator program. Lines of binary turned into small blocks of text. Her eyes widened. The screen showed 4 simple words. You are being watched. She leaned back in her chair. The room was quiet. Too quiet. Outside, the power flickered. The lights blinked once, twice. Then they went out. Her heart jumped. She stood up fast, knocking over her chair. She grabbed her flashlight and moved toward the backup generator. But just as she reached the hallway, her computer screen flashed bright white. She turned. A second message had appeared. You were warned. Before she could think, the screen turned black. And then silence. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., thousands of kilometers away, in a dark room beneath the Pentagon, a military officer named Colonel James Hart received a red-coded message. A satellite had picked up an unknown signal, the same one from Alina's observatory. The message read, unauthorized transmission detected. Source unknown. Colonel Hart frowned. He pressed a button. Get me Project Sentinel, he said. Back in Chile, Alina managed to restart the power. The emergency lights came on. She ran back to the control room, hoping the signal had saved. It had. She quickly copied the data onto a secure hard drive. But her instincts told her something was very wrong. She knew she couldn't stay. Outside, the wind picked up. But there was no sound of nature, no animals, no birds. Just silence. She locked the hard drive in her bag, grabbed her coat, and left the building. The cold night air hit her face like a warning. As she walked toward her car, she noticed the sky. It was too still. Then, without warning, a flash of blue light exploded behind her. The observatory, her workplace, her data, her friends, was gone. No fire, no explosion. Just erased. Alina fell to the ground from the shockwave, holding the hard drive tight to her chest. Tears ran down her face, not just from fear, but from the knowledge that something much bigger had just begun. She stood up, wiped her face, and whispered, they weren't just watching. They're here. The hacker in the deep corners of the internet, a mysterious hacker known as Ray's, was reading a strange email. It had no subject, no sender. Just a file, encrypted. He was used to strange things. But this was different. He decrypted it. The file had data, images, audio, and one video. He clicked play. It was Alina, her face pale, eyes wide. She spoke fast. If you're seeing this, I'm probably dead. This signal is not human. It's a warning. And now, they're coming. Don't trust the government. Don't trust anyone. Just decode the full message. Find them before they find you. The screen went black. Ray's leaned back in his chair. He had seen lies before. He had seen fake videos. But this felt real. His fingers moved quickly across the keyboard. He began decoding the file. And as he did, something strange happened. Lights in his room flickered. His phone buzzed. No number. Just one message. Stop. He laughed. Nice trick, he said. But too late. In Earth orbit, a satellite named Sentinel X-3 stopped working. It didn't go offline, it simply vanished. No debris, no warning. At the Pentagon, Colonel Hart received the news. Sir, Sentinel X-3 is gone, like it was never there. Hart clenched his jaw. It started, he whispered. He opened a locked file called Project Horizon. The top of the file read, Alien Contact High Risk. Code Black. He called the president. The past speaks. Alina, now hiding in a remote village, stayed in a small stone house. She watched the stars from a broken window, holding the hard drive close. She was not sure who to trust. Then she remembered something her grandfather once told her. Alina, never believe that Earth has always been alone. We were never alone. Some truths are buried to protect the present. But one day, someone will dig them up. Maybe that someone is you. She didn't understand it then, but now it made sense. She plugged the hard drive into a small laptop. The full signal started. Decoding. It took 2 hours. When it finished, one word repeated over and over. Remember. Final scene, Part 1 ending hook, in the blackness of space. Beyond the moon, something moved. Not a ship. Not a comet, a structure, giant, hidden by a cloak of dark energy. Slowly, it began to turn toward Earth. Inside, lights woke up. A language lit up across the walls, the same binary that Alina had received. And in the center, something opened its eyes. It was not machine. It was not human. It was ancient. And it spoke in a low voice, across space. They forgot. But we remember. We warned them. Now they will pay. It began with a shadow in the sky, not a loud noise, not fire, not light. Just silence. Over the forests of Siberia, local villagers looked up and saw the clouds move. Like something large was passing through them. The shape was not clear, but something massive floated above. And then, without warning, all the birds fell from the sky. Dead. A new threat appears in Moscow. Russian military radars picked up an object, 5 kilometers wide, hovering just above the Earth's atmosphere. No heat, no signal, no sign of life. The government declared it a weather phenomenon. But one pilot who flew near it never returned. The last words from his radio, "It's looking at me." Reyes decodes more back in his underground bunker. Reyes was working fast. The signal Alina had sent was more than a warning. It had coordinates. He found an exact location to 65.17 N, 60.45 E, deep inside the Ural Mountains of Russia. It was marked as a military no-fly zone, but Reyes was not scared. He had seen worse. He packed his gear, uploaded the data to a secure drive, and left. As he walked through the empty metro tunnels, a voice came from his device. A machine voice. "Do not interfere. This is not your war." He stopped. The voice was coming from his laptop, which had no speaker on. "Turn back, Reyes, or you will be erased." He smiled coldly. "Let's see if you can erase me." Operation Snowlight, a Russian special unit, was sent to investigate the Siberian anomaly. 24 soldiers, all trained, all armed. They entered the forest in 4 helicopters. 1 hour later, only static came back. The command center listened to one last recording. The soldier's voice was full of fear. "They're not soldiers, they're not machines, they unmake you." Then screaming, then silence. Worldwide panic around the world. Strange things began happening. In China, weather satellites exploded mid-air. In India, cows stopped eating and stared at the sky for hours. In Africa, desert winds formed perfect spirals, moving against nature. But most frightening of all, children around the world drew the same thing. A giant black shape in the sky with no face and long arms reaching to Earth. When asked who it was, they all gave the same answer. The Watchers came back. Alina's flashback. Alina sat alone, watching old recordings from her grandfather, an archaeologist who vanished in 1994. In one video, he stood near an old stone wall in Turkey. These ruins are older than any known civilization. But the writing is not human. Look closely. He pointed at strange symbols. A triangle with 3 dots, surrounded by broken circles. This is not a language for people. It's a warning. Not to us, about us. Then the video ended. Alina paused it. Her hand trembled. The triangle matched the symbol from the binary signal. "Grandfather, what did you find?" She whispered. "Mothership revealed on day 5 after the first signal. The object over Siberia decloaked. The world saw it. A ship, black as night, wide as a city, shaped like a spider with legs folded under. It had no windows, no engines. Just existence. People watched on TV, online, from rooftops. And then it spoke. Every screen on Earth, phones, TVs, watches showed a black screen. A voice came through, cold, empty. We came before. You rejected balance. We return now to correct your evolution." Then a countdown began. 168 hours. Alina meets Marcus following a hidden map inside her grandfather's journal. Alina traveled to Cairo to meet a man named Dr. Marcus Kai, an ancient historian who studied forbidden texts. They met in a quiet cafe. Marcus had already heard about the ship. "I believe you," he said. The stories were true. He opened a small leather book. Inside was a drawing, similar to the children's pictures. A black being with no face. The old ones. That's what my ancestors called them. What did they want? Alina asked. Marcus looked at her with sad eyes. They don't want anything. They take balance. They remove species that grow too fast, like gardeners pulling weeds. So they're going to destroy us? Not destroy, reset. Alina froze. There must be a way to stop them, Marcus nodded. There is one word I keep seeing in the scrolls, blood key. Reyes finds the crash site. Meanwhile, Reyes reached the location from the signal. It was hidden in snow, far from any town. There he found a crater. Inside it, pieces of something alien, not a ship. Not metal. It pulsed like a heart. As he touched it, a vision flashed in his mind. Flames, screams, human warriors fighting alien giants. One alien held a staff with a glowing tip. It pointed at Earth and said, "They have evolved beyond limit. Execute reset." The vision ended. Reyes fell to the ground gasping. He looked at the object again and whispered, "They've done this before." Past verses. Present. Back in Cairo, Marcus took Alina to a hidden chamber under an old temple. Carved on the wall were images of a war. Humans in armor with strange weapons fighting faceless giants. One symbol appeared again and again. 3 lines joined by a circle. Marcus pointed. This is the mark of the blood key, a tool left behind. It can unlock something, maybe knowledge, maybe a weapon. Where is it? Alina asked. Lost, but legend says it is hidden in the bloodline of a forgotten warrior tribe. The Ashari. Alina paused. That was my grandfather's last research. He believed I came from the Ashari line. Marcus looked shocked. Then, you may already carry the key. The first attack on day 7, just before the countdown ended, something terrible happened. Over New York City, the sky opened, and a beam of dark red light struck the tallest building. It crumbled like paper. People screamed, ran, cried. Beams stopped. Silence followed. Then the voice returned. This is your first correction. That day, 12 cities were attacked the same way. Billions watched helplessly. But something else happened. 2 in the ruins of each city, people found floating stones. Each had the same symbol, the triangle and 3 dots. Alina looked at the pictures online. "They're leaving a message," she said. "Or a challenge," Marcus replied. Part 2 ending. Alina, Reyes, and Marcus met in Istanbul. They knew the attacks would continue. They knew humanity had little time. But they also knew something else. "These aliens think we forgot the last war," Alina said. "They think we are weak. But they forgot one thing," Reyes added. "Humans don't go quietly." As the three stood on the rooftop, looking at the dark ship in the sky, Marcus spoke the final words of the episode. "They came before. This time, we will make sure they never come back." The world was burning in silence. No sirens. No emergency broadcasts. Just fear. The alien mothership hovered above the earth, unmoving, like a judge waiting for the final word. Most governments were still silent, denying, confused, powerless. But 3 people knew the truth. Alina, Reyes, Marcus. They had only one goal now. Find the blood key before the aliens started the final reset. A secret buried in stone. Alina opened her grandfather's journal again. Inside a secret flap was a tiny map, a hand-drawn sketch with strange lines and a red circle over a forgotten ruin. The name, Katel Makta, the Lost Stone Temple. Location, deep in the deserts of Saudi Arabia. Marcus, read the page aloud. "It says here, the key awakens where the old blood sleeps." Reyes pulled up a digital satellite image. "There's no record of that place, but this area," he pointed, has magnetic spikes. Like something is buried. They packed light and moved fast. Time was running out. The desert speaks. 2 days later, they arrived at the location. Sand blew like waves, no roads, no people. Only heat and silence. Then, half buried under stone and wind, they saw a piece of the ruin. A wall. Old. Carved. The same symbol again. The triangle with 3 dots. As Marcus brushed off more sand, they found a sentence etched in an old tongue. Alina translated slowly. "We fought the sky gods once. We can fight again." Behind the wall was a narrow opening. A tunnel, lost for thousands of years. Without hesitation, they stepped inside. The Temple of the Forgotten. The inside was cold and quiet. Strange markings glowed faintly on the walls, like they were still alive. Alina's heart beat faster. Suddenly, lights lit up ahead, a pulse of blue light that grew brighter with each step they took. Then they entered a giant chamber. In the center stood a stone coffin, and floating above it, a small cube, glowing softly. Reyes stepped closer. His scanner beeped like crazy. "This isn't human tech, not even close." Marcus touched the cube gently. A shock ran through his body. A vision flashed in all their minds. Vision of the first war 1,000 years ago. Giant black ships appeared in the sky. The same watchers, but Earth was not silent. Armies of humans wearing silver armor and strange tech fought back. Weapons glowed with blue energy. One warrior, tall, cloaked, held a staff that shined with fire. His eyes were glowing. His voice strong. He was the last Ashari leader. He said, "This is not your world. You promised balance, but you bring death." The watcher answered, "You disobeyed. You must be returned to form." The war began. Cities fell. Oceans boiled. The moon cracked slightly, but the Ashari fought back. In the end, they created a weapon. A key. The blood key. It was not just a weapon. It was a memory holder, a recorder of bloodlines. And then, darkness. The vision ended. "The blood reveals," Alina gasped. Sweat ran down her face. "I saw him, the Ashari warrior. He had my eyes." Marcus looked at her in silence, then said, "It's true. You're his descendant. The key recognizes you." Reyes pointed to the cube. "Then touch it. Unlock it." Alina walked up slowly and placed her hand on the cube. The glow turned red. Then, the cube sank into the coffin. With a loud crack, the stone lid slid open. Inside lay a metallic arm brace, smooth, shining, and marked with alien runes. She picked it up. The brace wrapped around her forearm, locking perfectly. Suddenly, data filled her mind. Locations, memories, battle tactics. The key had chosen her. The enemy knows far above Earth. Inside the alien mothership, alarms went off. A voice echoed through the dark halls. The key has awakened. The Ashari. Lives. From the shadows, a tall watcher stepped forward. Its face was empty. No mouth. No eyes, just a mirror-like surface dot. It raised its hand and spoke. Send the Seekers. She must be erased. The chase begins back on Earth. The desert. Shook, Reyes looked at the sky. Something's coming. A black dot grew larger. Fast dot, it was not a ship dot, it was a creature. Four-legged, metal-bodied, fast like lightning. A seeker. They ran. But the seeker landed in front of them with a scream like broken glass dot. It lunged at Alina. But the arm brace glowed and pushed the creature back with a blue energy blast. Reyes threw an EMP. Grenade. Boom. The seeker fell. Nice trick, he smirked. But more were coming. They escaped through an underground exit, emerging miles away. They were now targets. The hidden message in a safe house that night. Alina looked deeper into the brace's data. It showed one final location. An island in the Arctic Circle. There something was buried. Something that could stop the Watchers. Marcus read aloud a phrase from the digital map. When memory meets blood, the weapon wakes. The final piece is up there, Alina said. That's where they built the last defense. Reyes looked worried. The Arctic is no man's land. Radiation storms. Icequakes. We'll die before we get there. Alina looked at the stars. Then we die trying. Because Earth already started dying the moment that ship arrived. Final countdown back at the mothership. The countdown hit. 24 hours. The Watchers stood in a circle. Their leader raised its hand. This species forgets its place. We will remind them. But far behind them, in a sealed part of the ship, a human-shaped figure moved in stasis, trapped, sleeping. The lights flickered around it. It was not fully human. Part alien. Part Ashari, and its eyes slowly opened. Part 3 ending hook as Alina, Reyes, and Marcus prepared for the Arctic journey. A final signal came through her arm brace. A voice. Old, broken, but familiar. Alina, if you hear this, then I failed. But the weapon sleeps beneath the ice, and when it wakes, the Earth will rise. She looked at Marcus. That voice, it was my grandfather. Marcus nodded slowly. He found the last piece. And now it's your turn. Alina tightened her grip on the brace. Then let's finish what the Ashari started. As they boarded a small plane and flew toward the icy north, the black sky above seemed to whisper. They remember. Do you? Arctic arrival. The cold was not normal. Not just freezing, but heavy. The kind of cold that felt alive. Watching, Reyes, Alina, and Marcus landed near the Arctic Circle on a stolen research plane. Their faces were covered in ice masks. The wind howled. This place wasn't made for humans, Marcus said. That's the point, Reyes replied. Maybe that's why they hid it here. Alina held her arm close. The Ashari brace pulsed softly. A light beamed from it, pointing northwest, toward the heart of the ice. The final location, under the glacier. They traveled on foot. Each step harder than the last. Alina's brace glowed brighter as they approached a wall of thick ice, smooth, ancient, untouched for thousands of years. Suddenly, it cracked. A hole opened like a door. No one spoke. They stepped through. Inside, a metallic corridor, deep beneath the ice, with glowing lines on the walls. Cold mist swirled at their feet. Marcus whispered, "This is not man-made." They had found it, the Ashari vault. The vault awakens as Alina moved forward. The brace on her arm glowed and lit up symbols along the corridor. Suddenly, the walls lit up, and a hologram appeared. It showed a massive weapon, not a gun or a missile, but a structure, a living tower with arms that reached into the sky. It was not designed to kill. It was designed to block the Watchers from entering Earth, a planetary shield generator. But it needed power. Ancient power, Ashari power. Warning from the past. Another hologram flickered to life, a face. Not fully human, but close. Old, wise eyes. Long white hair. The voice spoke in Ashari, but the brace translated. If this message plays, the Watchers have returned. This vault contains the last defense, but the cost of using it is not small. It needs a sacrifice. Alina looked confused. What kind of sacrifice? Marcus answered with a heavy voice. The shield needs blood, the blood of an original Ashari. Reyes looked at Alina. They built a weapon only you can activate. They're not alone. As they moved deeper into the vault, the lights began to flicker. Alina stopped. Something's here. A shadow moved across the far wall, then another. Marcus raised his flashlight. Reyes pulled his weapon from the darkness. 3 seekers emerged, silent, crawling on the walls like spiders. Alina raised her arm. The brace pulsed and blasted. Energy at 1, melting it. Reyes fired. Another went down. But the third leaped and pinned Alina to the wall. Suddenly, the creature froze. Its chest glowed, then exploded. A tall figure stood behind it, holding an Ashari blade. The forgotten warrior. The figure wore a black coat, scarred with alien marks. His eyes glowed faint blue. He looked at Alina. You carry the key. Reyes aimed his gun. Who the hell are you? The man stepped forward. I was the last Ashari protector. My name is Kale, Marcus whispered. Impossible. The Ashari were wiped out. Kale shook his head. Not wiped out, hidden. We knew the Watchers would return. I was chosen to sleep until the key awoke. He looked at Alina again. And now, it has. Activating the weapon, Kale led them to the core room. In the center stood a giant circular platform with a heart-like core, pulsing faintly. Around it, glowing veins like tree roots, waiting to awaken. Kale placed his hand on a panel. The system came to life. He turned to Alina. Now you must finish it. Alina stepped forward. The brace unlocked and slid off her arm, floating into the air. Glowing bright red dot, it entered the core. A voice echoed across the vault. Ashari bloodline confirmed. System online. Shield weapon will engage upon sacrifice. Everyone fell. Silent. Explain, Alina said. Kale's voice was soft. The shield draws power from your DNA. One must stay behind. Become its heart. You mean, I have to die? Kale nodded. Not death. Transformation. The enemy descends. As they spoke, alarms went off. The vault shook. Outside, the Watcher mothership moved, lowering itself slowly over the Arctic. Hundreds of small drones dropped from its belly, flying toward the vault entrance. Marcus stared at the radar. They found us. Kale turned to Reyes. Seal the doors. Prepare the weapon. Reyes began typing into a console. Lasers covered the vault entrance. Alina stood quietly, processing everything. This is what my blood was meant for, she whispered. But there must be another way. A message from the stars. Suddenly, the weapon's hologram activated again. But this time, it showed something new. Another ship, not the Watchers. Different. Smaller. Hidden behind Earth's moon. A signal came through. If you hear this, then the key has awoken. We are allies. Survivors of the First War. We bring knowledge and hope. Reyes stared in disbelief. There's another faction? Kale smiled. Not all from the stars want us dead. Alina looked up. Then we don't have to sacrifice anyone. Marcus agreed. Let's make contact. But time runs out outside. The drones broke through the outer gate. Explosions rocked the vault. Reyes shouted, "They're inside!" Kale threw his blade to Alina. If you must run, fight. But if you can reach the signal ship, maybe we all survive. Alina grabbed the blade. It hummed in her hand. Her eyes flashed the same color as the old HFY warrior. Kale stared at her like seeing a ghost. You are her. You're the one we waited for. Part 4 ending hook. As the walls collapsed and light filled the chamber, the Watcher's voice echoed across the planet. You delay the end. But balance must be restored. Alina turned to the team. Let's go meet our allies. With drones closing in, the vault half destroyed, and a mystery ally ship waiting above the moon. The final battle was no longer just survival. It was war. The echo of the first war had become the call for the next one. The unknown signal high above the earth, behind the moon's dark side. Something moved. A ship. Not like the Watcher's black and sharp machines. This one was round, soft-edged, glowing with blue and silver light. Inside, beings stood watching. Earth. They were not human. But not like the Watchers either. Their leader, tall with glowing white eyes, spoke in a calm voice. The blood key has been activated. The child of HFY lives. It is time. They sent a signal directly toward Earth. Chaos in the vault. Meanwhile, deep in the Arctic vault, explosions echoed. The vault was falling apart. Drones swarmed. The entrance. Elina, Reyes, Marcus, and Kale fought back with everything they had. Kale moved like lightning, slicing through drones with the ancient HFY blade. Alina's arm brace glowed again, firing blue energy blasts. But she was getting tired. There's too many. Reyes shouted. Marcus pointed toward a corridor. We fall back to the launch chamber. They ran through the collapsing halls. The vault was dying. Suddenly, Alina's brace beeped. A signal. A voice. Alina of the HFY, we are not your enemies. We come with truth. The first contact outside. Just as the Watcher mothership lowered to fire at the vault. A new ship dropped from the sky. It shined with soft blue light. The Watcher ship paused. Something about the new arrival made them stop. Then, a beam of light shot from the blue ship, cutting through dozens of Watcher drones. The Watchers responded with rage. They fired back. A battle in the sky began. Alina and her team watched from inside. Who are they? She asked. Kale smiled. Our forgotten allies. Face-to-face moments later, a hatch opened near the vault's emergency platform. From it, 3 figures stepped out. Their skin was pale silver. Their eyes glowed white. Their movements were slow, peaceful, like monks. One stepped forward. I am Vera of the Elysians. We were allies of the HFY long ago. We left when the First War ended, believing peace had come. But now we have returned. Reyes raised an eyebrow. Why help us now? Vera looked at Alina. Because she carries the last code. The Watchers fear her. She can unlock the one thing that ends them. The truth about the Watchers. As the battle outside raged, the Elysians led Alina and her group inside their ship. There, a hologram showed ancient memories. The Watchers were once guardians, keeping balance between worlds. But something corrupted them. A virus, a thought, a shift. They became judges, cruel and cold. When the HFY refused to follow them, war began. The blood key was created not to fight, Vera said. But to reset the system. To remind the Watchers of who they once were. Alina looked shocked. You mean, we don't have to destroy them? If the key reaches the core? Yes. Mission. Reach the core. The Watchers' central core was hidden inside their mothership, a chamber filled with memory, control systems, and judgment protocols. If the blood key could reach it, it could reset everything. You must enter their ship, Vera said. You must place the key into the core. It's the only way. Reyes frowned. That's suicide. We can't just walk into that place. Vera raised her hand, showing a code crystal. With this, their defenses will ignore you for 15 minutes. That's all the time you'll get. Marcus looked at Alina. So, We break into the enemy's brain. And hope they don't kill us first. Alina nodded. Let's do it. Preparing the infiltration back on the Elysian ship, they suited up. Each was given a nano-armor, light, flexible, with cloaking abilities. Kale held out the Ashari blade to Alina. This was mine, now it's yours. You've earned it. She took it slowly. It felt right in her hands. I'll end what you started, she said. No, Kale replied. You'll begin something better. They reviewed the plan. Elysian ship would fake a crash into the Watcher's mothership. Teen would sneak in during the distraction. Head to the core room. Insert the blood key. Escape, if possible. The break-in begins the next morning. The plan launched. Elysian ship flew high into the clouds, headed straight for the enemy mothership. The Watchers fired. The Elysians responded with shields. At the last second, Alina and the team jumped from a stealth pod. Flying straight toward the mothership side, they landed hard, but alive. The cloak activated. They were inside. Inside the mothership, the halls were alive, not metal. Not stone, more like veins glowing slightly, pulsing, like the ship itself was breathing. Drones flew past them, unaware. The countdown began. 15 minutes. Kale led the way. Reyes watched the rear. Marcus read the path using the crystal key. Suddenly, a Watcher turned the corner. It looked directly at them. Then turned away. The code was working. Move, Alina whispered. We don't have long. The core room at the center of the ship. They reached a massive door, covered in alien symbols. It opened slowly. Inside, the core floated, a glowing orb of red, black, and silver. It looked like a heart, but made of light. 1,000. Voices whispered inside the room, not words. Just emotions, fear, power, rage, regret. Alina stepped forward. This is it. She held out her brace. It floated toward the core, spinning faster, glowing bright white. But then, a voice spoke. Ashari detected. Reset unauthorized. Elimination required. Final fight begins. The Watcher leader appeared, descending. From above. Its form was bigger now. Fully awake, its voice cut through the air. You are chaos, you are error, you must be corrected. Kale stepped forward. Then try. He rushed in, blade glowing. Alina followed, her own blade raised. Rays fired from behind. Marcus tried to complete the code at the core's panel. The room filled with light, sound, screams. The Watcher leader blocked every hit. Its body shifted, adapting to every attack. Then, it stabbed Kale. The old warrior fell. No, Alina shouted, but Kale smiled as he faded. Now, finish it. Alina's choice. The core glowed brighter. The brace floated into position. But a hand needed to push it in. The system demanded a living touch, and Alina knew what that meant. A final gift, a final sacrifice. She stepped forward. I was born for this. You don't have to, Marcus said. I do, she smiled. For all of us. She pressed her hand into the core. Reset. A blast of light spread through the ship. All drones stopped. The Watcher leader froze. Then, it changed. Its black armor turned white. Its voice softened. System reset. Balance remembered. Thank you, child of Ashari. The ship shut down. Outside, all enemy ships deactivated. The war was over. Part 5 ending. Hook. Alina opened her eyes. She was alive, floating inside a strange white space. Voices echoed. Ashari, Elysians, even old Earth languages. You carry the memory now. You are the archive. She looked down. The brace was gone, but its power was in her blood. Marcus's voice came over a cum. Alina, are you okay? She smiled. I think I just rebooted an entire species. Outside the ship, peace returned. But far away, something else woke up in the vein. Stars, and it did not want peace. Peace. But not for long. It had been 7 days since Alina reset the Watchers. Earth was quiet. For the first time in years, skies were clear of alien threats. The HFY vault was sealed. The Elysian ship hovered above Earth, repairing. Slowly. Marcus sat by a campfire near the Arctic crash site. "So, is it over?" he asked. Reyes, still watching the sky, replied, "Something in my gut says no." Inside the Elysian ship, Alina was different. She had not slept. She barely spoke. Since the reset, her mind saw things. Visions, glimpses of other stars, other dangers, and one name kept repeating in her head: Varnock. The signal no one sent that night. The Elysians detected a strange energy pulse coming from deep space, far beyond their map range. It wasn't HFY. It wasn't Watcher. It wasn't Elysian, but it knew their languages. It was a signal of challenge. A voice, ancient and cold, echoed across systems. The reset was not yours to command. You have awakened what should remain dead. We come now to correct the error. Alina froze. It's him, Varnock. He's real. Who is Varnock? Vera, the Elysian leader, looked pale, even afraid. Varnock was once the highest among the Watchers. He left when they chose peace. He believed in one truth: only the strongest deserve survival. He built an army outside the known galaxy. We thought he was dead. Reyes clenched his fists. He's not. Kale had spoken of a final enemy, a being even the HFY feared. He is not judge, Vera said. He is executioner. The HFY archive. Alina's powers had changed. Since connecting to the core, she could read symbols no one else could see. Her dreams were filled with broken stars, strange machines, and distant screams. The HFY were hiding something. Even bigger, she said. A weapon? Marcus asked. No, she whispered. A memory. She walked to the old HFY vault, deep under the ice. The door opened for her. Only her. Inside was a new room they hadn't seen before. At its center, a glowing orb, rotating slowly. The HFY archive. She touched it, and everything changed. Knowledge downloaded. The orb flooded her mind with truths. The Watchers were created by a race long gone, the Forgebinders. Varnock was their failed prototype, a mistake. After the HFY defeated him once, he fled to the edge of reality. There, he built the Drakari, a species of biosoldiers, and planet-breakers. And now, he had returned, not to rule Earth, but to harvest it. Drakari invasion begins above Mars. Strange holes tore through space. Giant creatures stepped out. Half machine, half monster. Ships shaped like bones followed. They didn't ask questions. They simply began to terraform Mars, burning its surface, turning it red hot again. Earth's telescopes saw it all. Vera stood frozen. If we do not stop him now, Earth will be next, and this time, no reset will save us. A new alliance. Alina called a meeting on the Elysian ship. All factions were there. Earth leaders, Elysian elders, the remaining Watchers. Now free from corruption, she stood in the center. We are no longer enemies, but Varnock is. We must fight together, or fall alone, many agreed. Some hesitated. Then, one of the Watchers stepped forward. It knelt. We follow the key. We follow Alina. The room fell silent. A new alliance was born. The Mars operation plan. The plan was dangerous. Step 1. Stop the terraforming machines on Mars before they reach critical stage. Step 2. Find Varnock's command node, the heart of his control. Step 3. Insert the HFY override code. Just like with the Watchers, only one person could do that. Elina. The departure with weapons loaded, ships built, and teams formed. The Alliance launched from Earth. The skies were filled with glowing engines, Earth fighters, Watcher drones, Elysian carriers. Reyes sat beside Alina. You sure you're ready? She didn't answer. Her eyes were glowing. Not just blue now, but silver and gold. I don't think I'm just Alina anymore. Landing on Mars, they dropped through Mars' atmosphere, red dust swirling like fire. The planet was no longer quiet. It was alive. Drakari beasts crawled across the ground. Machines drilled into the crust. Black towers rose into the sky, spreading poison clouds. The team split up. Marcus and the engineers took down the first machine tower. Rays and the fighters handled the sky drones. Alina, guided by the archive, went straight toward Varnuk's control node. She could feel him calling. Come, child of broken gods, show me your strength. The dead Ashari inside the black tower. Alina found a strange sight. Ashari corpses, hundreds of them, not killed, not destroyed. Preserved. Frozen in time, standing upright. Eyes wide open. Varnuk had collected them, stored them, studied them. She heard his voice again. Your kind were beautiful, but weak. I will remake them. In fire. She reached the control node. The override code in her mind pulsed. She placed her hand on the system. Suddenly, a trap activated. Alina captured. The node wrapped around her arm, locking her in place. A red glow filled the room. Behind her, a form appeared. Tall, pale, with armor like liquid fire. Varnok. He stepped close. His face was smooth like metal. His eyes, pure black. I see now why they chose you. You carry both hope and fear. But in the end, you are alone. He raised his hand. Alina screamed, and the scene cut to black. Part 6 ending hook outside the tower. Reyes and Marcus heard her voice vanish from comms. Vera spoke over the ship radio. We've lost her signal. Reyes gritted his teeth. Then we go get her back. Above them, more Drakari ships appeared in orbit, and far beyond the stars. Something even bigger than Varnuk opened its eyes. Something he was afraid of. Alina's cage. Alina floated inside a crystal prison. Her body was frozen, but her mind was awake. All around her, darkness shifted like smoke. Whispers echoed in forgotten languages. Some called her key, others called her mistake. And one voice stood above the rest, smooth, cold, powerful. Varnok. He appeared again. Not in a body, but as a shape in the shadows. You thought you knew truth, but you were given lies. He showed her visions, the Ashari creating weapons from stolen technology, the Elysians hiding ancient crimes, the Watchers once worshipping a force far older than time itself. You reset them, he said, but you didn't erase what they served. The real enemy is waking up. Outside, the battle for Mars. Meanwhile, outside the tower, chaos had begun. Varnuk's army of Drakari beasts charged across the desert plains. Earth forces, Watcher drones, and Elysian warriors fought back. But the Drakari were different now. Stronger, faster, smarter. Marcus dodged plasma blasts, trying to reach Alina's last known location. We can't hold them. He yelled into the cum. Reyes replied from a burning canyon ridge. Fall back to position Theta. We regroup there. Suddenly, a large shadow passed over them. Something massive was rising from under Mars' surface. Alina's inner vision back in the prison. Alina was pulled deeper into memory. She saw herself, but not as she was. She was wearing white robes, standing before a huge gate made of stars. Beside her was Kale, and behind them, millions of Ashari. It was a memory from another life, a life she never knew. You are not just Alina, a voice said. You are the echo of the first daughter, the one who sealed the gate. The gate was the vault of silence, the prison of something ancient. Something the Ashari had locked away long ago. Now it was opening. The real enemy. Varnok revealed the truth. I do not want to rule Earth. I want to prepare it for the one who comes after. He showed her a shape, vast, impossible, burning through space. A god made of shadow, stars, and memory. Its name was whispered by dying stars. Zirin. The Forge Binders made the Watchers. But even they feared Zarin, so they built a gate, and your people locked it. Now because of the Blood Key, the gate was waking, and Alina was its final key. The rescue plan outside. Reyes had a plan. We're going in. Straight into the tower. Marcus looked at him like he was mad. We don't even know if she's alive. Vera floated nearby, eyes glowing with Elysian energy. She is. I can feel her. But the tower is alive now. It's not just a prison, it's a mind. So, they created a 3-person infiltration team. Reyes, combat. Marcus, tech. Vera, mental link. They suited up. The mission: break Alina free before Varnock used her to open the gate. Entering the tower at the moment they stepped inside. The tower fought back. Walls shifted. Gravity bent. Time slowed. Voices screamed in reverse. Vera kept the path clear, but her power was fading fast. The tower is being controlled by something more than Varnock now. They reached the crystal chamber. And saw Alina, eyes open, glowing silver, floating above the ground. Marcus reached out. Alina? She didn't move. Then she whispered, he's here. Varnock versus. Everyone. The room exploded with dark energy. Varnock entered, no longer in his old armor. He had become something more. His body pulsed with cosmic fire, his eyes pure black light. You were too late, he said. She unlocked the gate. The god wakes now. I serve him, and soon so will you. He raised his hand. Waves of gravity crashed across the chamber. Rays charged, firing plasma bolts. Vera sent psychic blasts. Marcus hacked the crystal system to release Elina. It was a war in a room of gods. Alina reborn. Suddenly, silence. The crystal shattered. Alina fell and landed on her feet. Her eyes glowed with starlight. Her voice was calm, but strong. You stole their faith. You twisted their truth. I'm taking it back. She raised her hand, and the walls answered. The tower screamed. Varnock stepped back. What are you? She floated upward. I'm not the key anymore. I'm the lock. Sealing the gate. The battle outside had reached its final stage. Above Mars, the sky tore open. From it, the eye of Zarin looked down. Planets shook. Stars dimmed. Alina rose through the air, holding the Ashari blade. No more gods. She slashed through the air. A line of light spread, a seal, written in ancient energy. It closed the rift. The gate slammed shut. Zarin's scream echoed across galaxies. Then silence. Varnock collapsed. The tower broke, and Alina fell to the ground. Unconscious. A price paid. Reyes carried Alina from the ruins. She was breathing, but barely. Marcus looked around. Is it over? Vera nodded slowly. We stopped Zarin. But we didn't destroy him. He sleeps again, and dreams of returning. Earth's forces began to retreat from Mars. The Watchers, Elysians, and humans stood together, watching the sky. Peace. For now. Part 7 ending. Hook. Later, in the quiet room aboard the Elysian ship, Alina finally woke. She looked at her hands, now glowing with Ashari markings. She whispered, he's not gone. He's just waiting. Outside, far beyond the stars, in the blackness between galaxies, a voice whispered, the key has learned to fight. The next time, she will learn to fall. Earth. 1 month later, the sky above Earth was not the same. Even after the gate was sealed and Varnock defeated, strange storm clouds remained in orbit. Lights flickered in the oceans. Animals acted strangely. Something deep in the soul of the planet had changed. Alina stood on a hill overlooking the old ruins of the Ashari temple, the place where it all began. She whispered, he's still watching. Behind her, Reyes approached. The Alliance wants to talk. They say Earth must be evacuated. Alina shook her head. No, we end it here. No running. Not again. The warning that night, a message came, not from space, not from machines, but from the planet itself. The oceans boiled for 1 minute. Mountains cracked in perfect lines. And every human on Earth had the same dream. A sky full of fire, a dark shape blocking the sun. And one voice that said, "I gave you time, now I take it back." Alina's final vision. Alina connected to the Ashari archive one last time. This time, it did not show her the past. It showed her the end. Earth burning, the Alliance falling apart, Varnuk's legacy spreading through the stars, and the return of Jaren, god of forgotten worlds. But it also showed her something else. A choice. If she entered the vault again, if she reopened the gate, she could trap Jaren forever. But the price? "You will not return," the archive said. "Your soul will become the lock." She closed her eyes. And said, "I accept." The final plan. Alina called the council. All leaders, watchers, Elysians, Earth generals, gathered. She stood before them, calm. "Jaren will return. Not now, not tomorrow, but soon. And if he gets in, nothing survives." She revealed her plan: reopen the vault from inside Mars, draw Zaren's energy into the Ashari core, use herself as the lock, sealing him forever. Marcus shouted, "You'll die." Alina replied softly, "Not die. Become something that protects." Raise looked away. "I'll go with you." She shook her head. "This part, I walk alone." Journey to Mars. The Elysian ship left Earth. Its last mission. The skies were silent, but all knew what was coming. Mars, now lifeless, still carried the residue of the gate. As Alina walked across the red sands, the ground opened. A staircase, glowing with white light, led deep into the planet. The vault was calling, and it was time. Entering the vault inside. It was not made of stone or metal. It was made of memory. Ashari voices echoed around her. The ancestors, the fallen, the forgotten. They whispered, "Child of light. Lock of time. Walk without fear." At the center of the vault was a sphere, broken, cracked. It was the gate, and it was waking. The sky outside turned black. Lightning in space. The eye of Jaren appeared once more. Zaren's return. He did not step out as a body. He arrived as a force. The vault began to break. The air thickened. The planet screamed. Alina walked forward. "You won't have them," she said. "Not Earth, not my people." Jaren replied, not in sound, but in pressure. "You are a child. You are dust. You are nothing." Alina lifted the Ashari blade. Her body glowed white, gold, and silver. "I am the last light of Earth, and you are no god." She struck the gate. The lock seals. Everything collapsed. Light and darkness fused. Time bent, and for 1 second, all of reality went silent. The gate snapped shut with a thunder that cracked stars. Alina's body vanished in the light. The vault sealed itself, tighter than before. Jaren screamed. Trapped between dimensions. Forever. Peace returns. Earth was safe. The Watchers returned to silence. The Elysians left to guard the stars. Mars was dead. But quiet. Rays, Marcus, and Vera stood over the crater. No body. No trace. Just one small stone where Alina stood. It had her symbol. The mark of the key. Epilogue. Years later, children played under the clean skies of Earth. New stars blinked in the sky, and every once in a while, people saw her face in the clouds. Peaceful, smiling. A legend spread that when the stars tremble again, when the gate shakes, she will return, not as a warrior, but as light.